What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best weapon tier list in Stalker 2. So it took about a decade, but now finally Stalker 2 has been released. And with it we have over 35 different weapons, and more are scheduled to be released in the upcoming DLC. I've spent a lot of hours of testing and here are the results. Let's start off with the last D tier, and here we have the double barrel shotgun, the UDP compact and the GPS pistols. Let's take a look at the double barrel shotgun. It is more known as the sawed-off shotgun, which is likely to be your first two-handed weapon that you can acquire from the starting levels of the game. This weapon has the lowest damage value of all the shotguns, and given the very low accuracy of this gun, one will likely have to fire the weapon at very close range to maximize its damage. Overall, this is a poor weapon, and while still helpful in the early game, it is best discarded as soon as you get your hands on something better. Next we have the UDP compact pistol. This is a 45 ACP pistol, which has significantly better firing rate compared to other 45 caliber pistols and very light. However, the UDP seems very susceptible to jamming, which makes it slightly unreliable in extended firefights. Overall, this weapon only gets better if it gets upgraded and until you can get a silencer. But besides that, I would choose a different pistol. And now finally we have the HPSS pistol. This is the most basic out of the 9x19 pistols. Basically a middle ground for the pistols, not the best in damage, fire rate and reliability. However, it's very cheap. It's quite common to find, and both the new or old players can use it easily. The area in which this pistol shines is the magazine capacity. Overall, this one is one of the better choices for early and mid game, or it can be used as a panic type of weapon due to its huge magazine. Next up we have the C tier, and here we will place the Makarov pistol, the HK MP5A3 SMG, the Saiga 12K shotgun, the PP19 Bizon SMG, the Remington 700 sniper rifle, and two assault rifles, so the Ots-14 and the IWI Tavor. Let's take a look at the Makarov pistol, which is more known as the PMM. This is the first weapon that you can get in the game. It has extremely low damage and bad accuracy, but it's very reliable even with the honorary PMM. You probably won't use it for long because the handguns are easily acquired from the traders and dead stalkers. Although I suggest you don't sell the PMM you get at the start. Ammo and the gun itself is pretty cheap, but other stats excluding their reliability and handling are pretty bad. So overall this is a solid choice only in the early game. Next we have the HK MP5A3. This weapon is a SMG with a 9x19 ammo, which is a very common round, making it a useful weapon against rookie and experienced stalkers. However, it will eventually outlive its usefulness due to its low-powered nature, though it is still useful against most mutants due to its good stopping power and high fire rate. Overall, this weapon is relatively accurate and can be used against armored enemies if the user can achieve headshots. It may also serve as a useful alternative to shotguns, thanks to its range, fire rate and good performance in close quarters. Next we have the Saiga 12K. This is definitely a decent shotgun, and worth getting as a mid to late game gun. There are few shotguns that are better, so the Viper 12 is basically a Saiga with 2 extra shots in the mag, and the USAS 12 is a shotgun with 20 rounds and automatic fire, though it is heavy and has high recoil. Overall, the Saiga is definitely a step up from the first starting weapons. Next we have the PP12 Bizon. This is an early version of the AK-74 type, but with a pistol grip and 64 round cylinder magazine. In Stalker 2 this gun is very useful because of its high magazine capacity and great RPM factor. Also, it is very lightweight compared to other SMGs, and this weapon can melt enemies in an instant if you can control the recoil. Next we have the Remington 700. This is a bolt-action rifle, which by upgrading will easily turn into more or less of a one-shot weapon that can utterly demolish heavy armored stalkers and powerful mutants alike in medium to short range, through the sheer number of the armor-piercing shots which it can quickly lash out. While also, if you upgrade it to a marksman weapon, then it will still allow it to retain its killing power by the way of accurate follow-up shots at long range. Then for one of the last ones we have the Ots-14 Groza. This is a Russian assault rifle which chambers 7.62x39 round and the 9x39 subsonic round. The Ots-14 is a very accurate at close range and fairly accurate at long ranges as well. In the right hands, a player could get headshots at long ranges by using the iron sights. Overall, the weapon itself is very powerful, and it could easily rip apart the armor of an exoskeleton. Next we have the IWI Tavor. This is a 5.56x45 advanced bullpup assault rifle, which is the best assault rifle that a player can acquire in the super early game. This is known as one of the 3 assault rifles to get an integrated scope with a 0.56 zoom, as well as being the only weapon alongside the Thunder S14 to have the option to upgrade it even further, with extra attachments, scopes and magazine size. Then next we have the B tier, and here we will place bunch of early to mid-game weapons that are decent but not yet at the top tier. So here we have the Revolver, the AKS-74U, the over and under shotgun, the RPK LMG, the SPAS-12, the MAC-10, the OP-12, PKP Pecheneg LMG, the M14 rifle, the VSS Vintorez, also the NA-70 shotgun, then the EP Malyuk assault rifle, and lastly the OTS-12 Kiparis SMG. So let's take a look at the Revolver. This is a handgun which has quite a lot of damage, but on the other hand it's very unreliable. Most of the pistols will be way faster, easier to reload, and will hold more ammo. However, if you enjoy aiming for headshots and making your bullets count, then this could be quite a good option. Next we have the AKS-74U. This assault rifle is pretty weak, as it has the lowest accuracy and damage rating for any assault rifle in the game. But it is light due to its compact nature, and boasts very good handling coupled with an above average rate of fire. These two advantages makes this weapon the most easy to handle rifle in the game, as even when firing at full auto, the weapon remains largely easy to control at close to mid-range. Next we have the over and under, which is a double-barrel shotgun with internal hammers. As an early game weapon, it is quite accurate and dependable when firing slug and dart rounds at short to medium range, provided that the weapon's iron sights are used correctly and the player adjusts for its bullet drop. With its 1000 RPM fire cap, one can fire both barrels nearly at once, which makes it quite useful. Next we have the RPK. This is an LMG that can chamber 545 by 39mm round. It is basically a modernized RPK-74, as it's also designed in the base on the AK-12 and the AK-15. So overall this weapon has high fire rate, high recoil and really high damage. Next we have the SPAS-12 shotgun. This is a dual-mode tactical shotgun, which is capable of both pump action and semi-auto fire. This weapon is powerful at close range, but it's quite heavy, and unlike other shotguns in the game, it is semi-automatic, yet still fires slowly at the rate of a pump action shotgun shots. Pretty much it can fire with decent speed, but it has a huge recoil when shooting as fast as possible. Overall, the shotgun is relatively unpopular because other weapons like the assault rifles have way better damage over range. Next we have the MAC-10. This is an SMG which deals bunch of damage but has a huge recoil. Also, it's extremely durable and is able to fire even when highly damaged without jamming. The weapon takes more than 30,000 shots to fully degrade, and the MAC-10 can also mount a POS-1 scope and a silencer by default. Next we have the DP-12 shotgun. This one is a chunky weapon which is especially loaded with 16 rounds of 12 gauge. It is much more reliable than most other shotguns and has 2 tube magazines. Each one feeds its own barrel. This thing is great against groups of enemies as every shot will shoot pretty much the double of the ammo, thus increasing your fire rate by 100%. Next we have the PKP Pecheneg. This is another LMG with a little bit of increased accuracy if you compare it against the RPK. Also, its weight is a little bit less, but besides that, the PKP is pretty much the same thing as RPK, as both have almost identical stats and have a wooden stock to help with the handling of the weapon. Next we have the M14 assault rifle, which chambers the 7.62x51 NATO cartridges. This is one of my favorite mid-game weapons, as I get the feeling that I'm back in the 1950s as a US soldier that is trying to survive this cursed wasteland. The M14 has 20 round magazine and can easily achieve headshots because of its medium weight and decent stock scope. Next we have the VSS Vintorez, which is suppressed 939 sniper rifle that has high armor piercing ability, but its range is actually worse than the most of the rifles due to its low velocity subsonic rounds, which has considerable drop that must be factored in when using the weapon at long ranges. However, when you use it within its effective range, it is very powerful and accurate sniper. Next we have the N870 shotgun. This weapon is almost identical to the Chaser 13, although it boasts a large damage increase. It is the only shotgun that does more damage than the double barrel, and also has a slight upgrade to its rate of fire. It is easily among the best shotguns for early game. Because of its very high damage per shot, it is for sure the best shotgun to use against mutants, especially with a full auto upgrade. Next we have the Malyuk. This is a 5.56x45 bullpup assault rifle, which is also slightly less accurate than other assault rifles. However, it boasts above average durability, despite jamming commonly after the condition drops below 70%. Overall, this gun performs somewhat poorly compared to other assault rifles, as it has slightly inferior handling and accuracy, and is prone to jamming when worn. But on the other hand, it has higher damage than them and is much cheaper, while its stock scope is also a huge bonus. And finally we have the OTS-02 Kiparis. This is an SMG with a rudimentary steel skeletonized stock, which folds up and over the receiver when folded. At any range short of 17 meters, the Kiparis will deal a bunch of damage, which usually requires 4 bullets to down weaker enemies, if you shoot them in the body. However, its damage will decrease at longer ranges, and keep steadily dropping. This SMG has also a nasty recoil, although if you are in a building or close quarters, then you can just let him rip and destroy anyone you see. Next we have the A tier, and here we have very good weapons, which can easily kill most of the enemies, and you can easily use them to fully complete the game. So here we will place the AK-74, the SVD Dragunov sniper rifle, then also the ASVAL, then the SVD OTS-03 rifle, then IWI Carmel, and finally the HK-416. Let's take a look at the AK-74. This is the most popular weapon in the game. It is also cheap to buy and easy enough to find in the field. The AK-74 can make short work of the bandits and weaker mutants. It can be fitted with a PSU-1 scope and a GP25 coaster, but on the other hand, you can't equip a silencer. Next we have the SVD Dragunov. This is a sniper rifle that is pretty much the second most powerful sniper rifle in the game, only surpassed by the Gauss gun. It is very capable of penetrating medium armor, very likely to cause stalkers with anything less to collapse from bleeding, and is highly accurate from any range. It also still possesses a fairly decent rate of fire. Next we have the ASVAL. This is internally suppressed assault rifle, which is very efficient weapon for stealth kills thanks to its ammunition, although it features a lower range than other assault rifles due to the lower bullet velocity. It also cannot mount a scope. Oddly, the weapon exhibits absurdly high recoil when firing full automatic, which is about twice as much as other assault rifles, so it is not recommended for use at medium to long range. Next we have the SVU OTS-03. This is a shortened rifle that has double the firing rate of a regular SVU, while still being easy to handle. While still not capable of the high damage single punch that a stock SVD-M2 is capable of, the SVU OS excels with damage per second. Its fire rate of 150 RPM easily allows it to dish out damage at medium to short range. But don't forget that because of the increased firing rate, it is more susceptible to durability damage compared to the stock model, so moderation with increased firing rate is advised. Next we have the IWI Carmel rifle. The weapon comes with integrated silencer and is 2 kilograms lighter than the original rifle due to the new components. It is also one of the most reliable assault rifles in the game. And then finally we have the HK-416. This weapon is the remodeled version of the original M1A4. As a result of the remodel, the weapon's damage per shot has been increased by 20%, making it the most powerful 5.56 weapon of the game. In addition, the weapon can equip an SU-AT scope and any of its variants along with a silencer, making it the only assault rifle to be able to use a scope, silencer, and grenade launcher all at once. And now finally we have come to the S tier, and here we have the weapons that are most overpowered in the game. If you're using any of these, then count yourself extremely powerful, but of course you still need to know how to use them in the correct way, and what are their strengths and weaknesses. So here we will place the AKS-74, then the Gauss rifle, then of course the RPG-7, then the Kriss Vector SMG, and finally the NATO weapon aka the HK-G36. So let's take a look at the AKS-74. This is another common assault rifle that most players will encounter at the start of the game. After the AKM-74U, it is cheap to buy and easy enough to find in the field. The AKS-74 is a lower mid-range weapon with decent power and really good accuracy. However, it is prone to durability damage, and accuracy at long range remains poor. However, if you upgrade the rifle to mount a PSU-1 scope, as well as the GP25 coaster, then it can reach its full potential. Next we have the Gauss rifle, which is the most powerful sniper in the game. Unlike traditional firearms, the Gauss rifle does not launch projectiles by using combustion, but rather uses a series of electromagnets powered by the fragments of a flash artifact to fire special, ferromagnetic slugs at high speeds, capable of completely ignoring protective armor. Even the armor of an exoskeleton cannot stop a Gauss round at any range. This setup makes it the go-to gun for snipers. With its pinpoint accuracy, zero recoil and almost invisible muzzle flash, the Gauss is perfect for sniping from any distance. However, the extreme damage of the shot is offset by an extremely low rate of fire. It can only fire once every 2 seconds, and reloading adds another 4 seconds to the delay, which is the longest of any sniper rifle in the game. Next we have the RPG-7 rocket launcher. This weapon is too overpowered, as its explosions negate any cover a target may be hiding behind, including solid rocks and thick concrete walls. It deals full damage in its AoV, and it does not deteriorate in regards to the target's distance, meaning if the target is at the edge of the RPG-7 range, then the enemy will still receive the full force of the explosion. However, it does not seem to fully apply to a player, as if they manage to escape a rocket, then they still can get hit by an explosion and survive even in medium-level armor. Nonetheless, it remains a dangerous weapon in enemies' hands, as it can deal high damage to players and may also fully degrade their armor. Then for one of the last ones we have the Kriss Vector. This is one of the best SMGs that you can get, as it has a 30-round magazine, great accuracy, widespread ammo, and is one of the most reliable weapons. Its biggest disadvantage is the rarity of it. The Vector can be bought from gun traders and only few other locations. If you can get it in early game, it is one of the best SMGs at that point, and can be used no problem up to early to end game content. The bonus being that if you upgrade it to the max, then you can extend its magazine even further. And now finally we have the HK G36. This is the most OP and my most favorite gun to use. The HK G36 has almost zero recoil and has insane rate of fire, with decent damage, making it super easy to hit headshots and destroy even the exoskeletons in a few seconds. On top of this, you can even find it quite early in the game. And of course, ammunition for this is almost on every corpse, and that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video, click like, subscribe and comment. If you're interested in more content, then check out my channel and I will see you in the next one. So take it easy, peace.